So good day everyone, I'm Yinka Ayodeji, and today we'll be talking about issues in relationship, and of course marriage also. Marriage is also a kind of relationship, but we'll talk about it from the two angles, from relationship and then into marriage. Now let me say this, that I like to say that there can not be a relationship or a marriage without issues. Or people call it different names, conflicts, whatever, all manners and types of names. But we cannot have a relationship without issues. There will definitely be issues for you to handle, and there'll be issues to sort out. So as you get into a relationship or you get into marriage, get yourself set, get your mind set that okay, I'm going to work out the issues. We are going to work out the issues, not high. We will work out the issues and then we'll move on from there. Now I need to say this, that issues are normal and they are natural. Now I like to I love to illustrate a lot. For instance, you have two people sitting together beside each other. Is it possible for you not to once in a while step on each other's toes? I don't think that is it's possible. It's actually impossible for you to sit beside someone for a long time and then you don't have a reason to step, either by chance or knowingly or unknowingly. But somehow that's how things work. So because of that, in relationships, in marriages, we're going to have issues are bound to happen. But one of the things that helps us to be able to overcome this or work through the issues and sort them out is when we already have it at the back of our mind that I'm not getting out of this because I met a brick wall. Did you get it? I'm not going to step out of this relationship or this marriage because I came across a brick wall. No. When you get to crossroads or to junctions and you don't even know what to do, the only thing you need to do is to make up your mind that okay, we're going to find a way around. Have you seen the ants before? Oh, I love those creatures. When you see ants, when they get to a brick wall or they get to a crossroad and they don't know, they meet an obstruction on their pathway, what do? They find, as little and tiny as they are, they find the way around it. Now, what could be causing the issue? Okay. What has led to us to this issue? Amen. Those are things that I believe that we need to talk about, because issues are sincerely inevitable in relationships. Now, there are many things that could create issues. One of the major things that I like to talk about today is that in relationships and in marriages, you have two people raised by two different parents coming together as one. Oh, that's like amalgamation of two nations. Once somebody comes together with another somebody, and the two of you want to come together, and you think that it's going to come that easy. Of course not. Now we are talking about individuals here. We're talking about two separate entities, two separate individuals from two different backgrounds, two different upbringings, two different kinds of way of life, sometimes cultures. Now these are things that we don't usually open our hearts to. I love to say that most people enter into a relationship or marriage with their rose-tinted glasses. Now there's nothing bad about that. It's beautiful. The only thing is that when we get married, the glasses, the rose-tinted glasses, the roses goes off. That's the first thing that happens. The roses will go off. Then the tints will also disappear, and sometimes they become clear. Most of the time it becomes clear, and then we can see clearly now the rain will be gone. Amen. So it is at that point that people start like, no, I can't continue again. No, I don't want to move on any longer. I want to call it quits. No, that's not the best time to call it quits. That's the best time for you to work around it, the situation. Now, I was saying that they have two people coming from different backgrounds, two different upbringings, brought up by two separate parents. Now, these are things we need to open our eyes to as we get married or as we enter into relationships. We have to open our hearts to it, that okay, these are part of the questions that we need to ask ourselves and sort out. How did you grow up? You should know how your friends or your husband or spouse grew up. How did you grow up? What was the upbringing like? Did you grow up in a single home, as in your parents were, maybe you was a single mother or a single father? Did you grow up with two parents together? Now, if you grew up with the two parents together, was it two parents agreeing together, loving each other, or two parents that were just staying together because they had to stay together? Did you grow up in a divorced home? Did you grow up in a separated home? Did you grow up in a loving home? Did you grow up? Now, these are things I believe that we need to talk about while the two of us are going out before we even get into marriage. You understand? But a lot of times we don't get to talk. Sometimes we don't get to talk about things like this. So eventually when we get married, the issues will start. And then you don't even know where your spouse is coming from. You don't even know where the person you're coming from, you're engaged to, is coming from. And so you don't know how they think. And so you don't know what their philosophies are, and their ideologies, and the way they reason, and the way they see things, and the way they picture things. Because you can actually see things, in fact, most of the time you see things differently. And you picture things differently. And your perspective will just be different. And your paradigm, will just not be the same. So because of that, those are things that create issues in marriages and in relationships. So it's very, very needful for us to sit ourselves down. Now the scriptures say that have you seen someone that wants to build a building? I like to use it like contemporary way. Like, okay, have you seen someone trying to build a skyscraper? That did not sit down to count the cost. To sit down to decide, because sincerely you should have to build. You have to first of all sit down and say, okay, how many stories of building do I want to build? Like how many stories? How many is it going to be a skyscraper or a two-story building or a three-story? Because that determines the foundation. Amen. With my background in engineering, I know that when you want to build, the most important thing in building is the foundation. Now that determines the foundation of the building. Now if you are building a two-story building, the foundation differs from that of a skyscraper. Now Cocoa House is in Ibadan. The foundation of Cocoa House can actually sustain that high rise. Now if the foundation was weak, I'm sure that Cocoa House over the years would have had issues. Now that's exactly what we do when it comes to marriage. We do not handle the foundation well and relationships. So we don't ask questions, we don't know each other, we don't know so much about each other, we don't talk, communicate, and then we get married. I like you, I love you, and then after some years we start seeing the realities of the love and like, excuse me, I cannot cope. So it's important and necessary. As I round up, so ask ourselves questions. I love to ask questions a lot. So sometimes they call me a questioner. I ask questions. Okay, where did you grow up from? How did you grow up? How was it growing up like? Because that helps you to understand the mindset, the philosophy, the ideology, the way of behaving of the other person. And so when you now get to know those things, especially at the relationship stage phase, you now be able to come to terms with, can I handle it? Can I live with this? Then if you cannot, then you move on. You ask yourself questions. Okay, the guy said I'm a sailor. Oh, now say what? Getting engaged to a sailor and getting married to a sailor means that you might not get to see your husband all year round because he's moving around the world, sailing all over the world. So what do? You ask yourself, you come to terms that, oh, I love the guy, he's handsome, he's this, but can I cope with this? Then if you cannot, then you might have to, if you're someone that loves care, attention, and my husband, my guy must be there for me 24 hours, round the clock, then you might need to change your mind before it gets too close and becomes an issue. So I'm very sure that you've been able to learn something important, or let me say necessary, from this video. By God's grace, we're going to have more of videos like this, and I'm sure that you're going to get blessed. You're free to share with your friends and make it go viral. Thanks for listening. God bless you. Love you plenty.